I like Adderall.
I mean, yeah, can you?
I get a bunch of bad thoughts in my head when I smoke weed.
I'm gonna take a piss while I'm on live stream. Nah, bro, I'm gonna take a piss in front of my fans.
I only smoke weed unless if I'm drunk first. I smoked weed for 2 years. I started smoking in 2017. It's 2019 now.
You guys can see this, but me and his veins are popping right now.
Scat.
Either walk out of this door or try to fix the mood. Either walk out of this door or try to fix the mood.
I don't know if it was like his original intention to scam me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and like, cause like it seemed pretty okay in the beginning, and I'm not gonna like accuse him that he like wanted to scam me from the beginning, but right now that's it like kind of doesn't seem great.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
That's not how I took it. But
Yeah,
anyways,
so what ended up happening was you sent him sort of like I believe this is, yeah, this is the cartoonish version that I'm sort of looking at, so this is the second one you made for him, right?
yeah,
And the first deal on the first one was 100, flat out
100.
100, yeah. So you made him the 100 one, you sent it over
Yeah.
to him, and he
And
said,
he sent me the
yeah, that's
55,
cool, yeah. He sent you
and I was like,
55 at
okay,
that
so
point.
he's like,
Ah, well isn't this deja vu? Another month, another Aparri video to add to the ever-growing playlist. Another noticeable event to include to the never-ending Aparri lore. Just like all the others, this will not be scripted and I'm sort of going in blind. In just a second I'll fast forward to a voice call interview with the actual victim of the Aparri scam. As per usual, I'm a mess. This was recorded at like 2:30 in the morning. You may be able to tell by those giant wet salt bags hanging under my eyes. Hopefully I managed to do a decent job at portraying all sides of the story, and I'll make sure to include all valid screenshot evidence throughout the video that will chronologically present the chain of activities that led up to yet another one of Aparri's oopsies. Just to clarify, whenever we do refer to Freivo, we do indeed mean Aparri. If you've lived under a rock, this is his 10th new SoundCloud rapper alias he has gone under. Watch my other videos revolving around his drug issues and personality disorders for further context. Thank you so much to Night Fury for being brave enough to stand up for herself and having the courage to speak publicly about her story. Please support great artists like her that I regularly taken advantage of by AJ SoundCloud smackheads. I apologise for the state of me in this video and the inactivity on the channel. Midway through the interview I start pulling off some Hago shit whilst eating a pretzel. I think my brain slowly disintegrates the more Aparri bullshit I have to sit through and research basically. I've literally forgotten how to make an actual YouTube video, please help, I really hope this goes well. Alright, so I guess I'm recording. Forgot how this works considering I haven't made a video in like 2 weeks now. And of course it wouldn't be an Aparri video without me being in my pyjamas and having greasy hair and it being 2:30 in the morning. I swear this is how literally every single one of my Aparri videos goes. Anyway, so I've currently got Night Fury waiting for me on the line on Discord right now, so I guess I'll just hop into the Discord call and we'll start the interview. Hi, how are you?
I'm okay.
Alright, well it's great to be talking to you again, and for the record, this is Night Fury on the line right now, also a good friend of mine, Ava, but I just want to make it like sort of clear off the start that it's not like, some conspiracy thing, or it's not like, like we're going to try and stay as biased as possible on this, and it's not like, we're sort of gunning up on Aparri or Freivo or whatever, like,
Yeah.
it was a nice choice to, go on this and talk about her experience in this situation. And I felt like it was very important to get, your full side of the story and you to explain things through because, it's you're directly involved in it.
Right.
So, the thing, I got you on here to sort of talk things through about the whole Aparri scamming thing. Would you say should definitely be referred to as a scam, right? Because, I
Yes
mean,
and no,
yeah.
because I don't know if it was like his original intention to scam me.
Mm-hmm.
Cause that's like I don't know, like I don't know if that was like his original intention. He's like,
Yeah.
"Ooh, we're gonna split the cost of this one, so I don't have to like pay the other one, and I
Yeah.
can."
It definitely
get
did
it.
seem quite sort of. I mean, we're just going to go through the whole story from the start in a second chronologically, but it did seem sort of, especially towards the end, like with the no replies and stuff, like as a intentional, like malicious thing, right?
Yeah, and like, cause like it seemed pretty okay in the beginning, and I'm not gonna like accuse him that he like wanted to scam me from the beginning, but right now that's it. Like, kind of doesn't seem great.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So right, sort of, I guess we'll start off from the beginning. So how did your sort of conversation start? Because I knew Aparri, obviously under his account Freivo now, his SoundCloud
Yes.
rapper alias. I believe it's like his third name is chosen by now.
Yeah.
But
Like,
on that account, because I'm a super fan of Aparri.
oh god, yeah, you're like his biggest fan.
I swear I am. Anyway, so I was sort of like looking through his Instagram live streams, and
Yeah.
he kept saying how he's like looking for somebody to make him like an album cover art,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So how did your sort of conversation? Because just for the record, you're primarily like a furry artist, like an anthropomorphic animals, but you do all sorts, like even AJ animals, things like that. But basically, you draw stuff. This is such a
Yeah.
bad. I'm sorry, but yeah, basically you're an artist over on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so I kind of just I replied to one of those stories and I was like, "Hey, I am an artist and I I can I can draw."
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you
and
were
he was like,
basically you accepted sort of like the task and said that
"Yeah,"
basically
and
was
I
looking
was
for
just
commissions.
yeah, I said, "So like I can't draw people, but like I can draw backgrounds and furries." And
Yeah.
he was like, "Yeah, no, I'm just looking for like a background, like you don't need to draw like a
Mhm.
character in it or anything." And I was like, "Oh, okay, great."
Mm.
And I was like, "You want it like realistic or like cartoonish?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm going for realistic."
Mhm.
And then like,
So he
after
sort
a
of
bit of
basically gave you a. I'm trying to think what you call it, like a brief, right?
no, there was like some more details. Like he was like, "I want
Mhm.
like a beach. I want it to be stormy. I want
Mm.
there to be some lightning, and I want the word strike on it. Stuff like
Mhm.
that."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, I got a good idea of what
The
you
general
you would
gist of it.
want." And then
Mhm.
after a little bit of small talk later, like he was like, "Okay, so how much you want?" And I was like, I don't know. We can call it 100. Does 100 sound okay?" And he was like,
Mhm.
"Yep, 100 sounds great."
All right. So you both agreed on the initial price of 100 for the main, like the one
Yeah.
sort of cover art, not drawing, but it was like a full on. You spent ages on this, right? Just to clarify, I'll show images of it later as well. But for the first
Yeah.
initial one, like you put a lot of time and effort into it, and the offer
Yeah.
was 100 for the one cover, right?
Right. And
Mhm.
so then I got it mostly done. Like I didn't finalize it. I sent it to him in DMs, like the finished project, so that way he couldn't just take it because like I need to email it to him for it to be like in high
Yeah, high
res.
quality. Yeah.
So it's not that like he could just download it from his phone and that'd be good. No, he needed like a
Yeah.
high res
Yeah,
version.
he
So I was like,
definitely
as long
won't
as he
use it
can just
without paying. They'll be
yeah,
outraged with that.
yeah. So he was well, okay, sorry. I'm gonna backtrack a little bit. He was
No,
like,
it's all
okay, so
good.
what if we did this? I love it, and I was wondering if I could like buy like a cartoonish version as well. Like keep doing this one, but like
Mhm.
I'll pay you extra if you can do a like a cartoonish version that's like basically like the same exact thing as this, but like in a cartoony style.
Mhm.
Emphasis on the same exact thing as this,
Yeah.
but in a cartoony style.
Yeah, I see that.
And
So just before we sort of
so
go into things, there's sort of one conversation from the ones I've got so far, but I'm sure there's like more they'll send me over later. Another screenshot was like sort of he was really sort of reluctant. He wasn't rushing necessarily because his album's not coming out for like another year or so, it appears.
yeah,
But he sort of like was really down and interested in your sort of commission. He asked you like
right.
for updates and things, and then you said, "Hey, dude," and then you explained that you sort of had some personal stuff going on right now and that you're going to take a while longer on it to sort of make it right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he was
And
like, "Yeah, that's great, man. I understand what
yeah.
it's like to not be great."
Yeah, yeah, of course. You obviously have like things like school, you make fursuits as well. You've got a lot of commissions for artwork as well, so it's perfectly
I got hella
understandable.
depression.
Yeah. Relatable. But yeah, so you've just got a ton of stuff to be working on, and sort of just feel like it's important to notice that, you know, it's not like you left him hanging or didn't make him the art. It
And
was
it's
just
also
like
like he didn't pay me yet,
yeah,
so
of
I had
course.
no obligation to keep going technically.
Yeah. Yeah, so you accepted it based on that you'll make it first for him, sort of, like he didn't pay you yet at that point.
No.
Mm.
So that's why I was like, I need to backtrack a little bit because then he wanted the cartoonish version,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay. So then we agreed on it would be $10 extra because cartoonish things don't really take that long.
Mm-hmm.
So we agreed to 110 for both, and so that would be the total. And then he was like, "Can I pay you like in payment plans? So like, can we do 55 each?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, that sounds fine."
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I don't know if he took that as our original deal is now canceled and this one is only $55. That might be how he thought it was
Yeah.
gonna be. That's not how I took it. But
Yeah,
anyway, so
so what ended up happening was you sent him sort of like I believe this is the cartoonish version that I'm sort of looking at. So this is the second one you made for him, right?
yeah,
And the first deal on the first one was 100, flat out
100.
100, yeah. So you made him the 100 one. You sent it over
Yeah,
to him, you know, and he
and
said,
he sent me the
"Yeah, that's
55,
cool." Yeah, he sent you
and I was like,
55 at
okay,
that
so
point. Hmm.
he's like in it, like I can trust him because he actually paid me.
Invested, yeah.
And so then I like made the cartoony one. It took a couple months because I went through like some really heavy personal things that I'm not going to talk about
Hmm.
on video, but you know.
Yeah, it's perfectly understandable. I know, like, we're friends, so we talk about that sort of stuff as well regularly, but everybody, you know, just goes through a lot and can't, you know, do
Yeah.
everything up to
So
date.
he was
And he
like,
was
it's fine.
perfectly aware of that because you did mention it to him as well.
Yeah, and he was like, it's perfectly fine. The
Yeah.
album isn't coming out for a few months now, so yeah, don't even worry about it. You can take as much time as you want. And I was like, that sounds great. Thank you for being understanding.
Hmm.
And stuff like that. And then I finished it, and I was like, so here it is.
Hmm. So you
If
sent
you're
him
gonna
over the
go,
cartoonish version, the
yeah.
second
And
one.
I was like, if you're gonna go with me, and like for your album cover, I recommend that you use the more realistic one because
Mm.
it's more eye catching.
Yeah, because this is the
And
second thing as well. I actually contacted you during this. I'm not sure if you knew, but well, now you know. During the time you told me you were making his, you know, cover. So anyway, I sort of earlier talked to you about how he was like sort of getting other people to make him the cover art as well. Because it's
right,
only one album he's making, so he only really needs one cover art, possibly like maybe two variations.
yeah,
But I noticed him asking sort of other people to also make the cover art for him, which I sort of found a bit strange. For example, I think it was on his Instagram live stream. It wasn't a story, it was a live because, you know, I'm always on those Aparri live streams. He was asking another good friend of mine, Shadow Bluefire, the name is. You may know him as well as sort of a really
yeah,
good
I know
AJ
him.
artist, yeah. And he was sort of in talks with her briefly, and I believe they may have messaged afterwards about, you know, making the album cover art. So I was sort of intrigued as to why they would ask. Maybe they, you know, they want to check multiple artists, see how it goes, and pick one at the end. What do you think about that? I just
Yeah,
sort of found it strange.
I mean, it makes sense that he'd want to have options.
Yeah, variety to choose from.
Yeah,
It just sort of seems weird because, like, why would you pay for example, five other artists, you know? And it's
I
sort of
guess.
as you got me thinking, what if he's trying to do like a larger scamming scheme, sort of from all the artists? But I was just like, you know, I mean, so far you're the only one that's came through, but what if there are other people that have sort of submitted art for him, and you know, he sort of commissioned them, but
Yeah,
haven't paid as well? So that was sort of, you know, if anybody else has had any bad experiences, please make sure to message me.
yeah.
And especially, it's, you know, sort of a shame to see my friends as well get sort of fucked over, I'd say, you know. But anyway, so going on to it, he said that he liked your first design better, like you as well. You recommended the sort of more, what is it, realistic
Right,
one to him, right? The first one.
right, because it's more eye catching, and if you want
Yeah,
attention drawn to your album, naturally you'd want to have an eye catching cover.
yeah.
So I recommended to him the first one
Hmm.
because I felt that the other one was a little bland because, like,
You don't
more
really
storm.
focus primarily on like a cartoony style, do you?
No, I'm more of a like when it comes to backgrounds, I'm more into semi-realism.
Mm-hmm.
And plus like stormy backgrounds, everything kind of looks a little grayish and that doesn't really look always the best with cartoonish styles.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah, I mean, you perfectly
So
well know your strengths and weaknesses as well, and I believe you agreed as well that,
yeah,
he even said it, that the first one was definitely better. And then you sort of reassured, like, messaged him just to make sure, hey, is everything definitely okay? Like, I just want it to be perfect. If
yeah.
you have
I was like,
anything else that you want
"Or
to change.
anything." Yeah, I was like, "I can tweak it if you want." And he was
Hmm.
like, "No, it's fine. I love it." And I was like, "Okay, great. So,
Yeah.
you ready to pay?"
Yeah, then I see the messages sort of, for payment, and then he's like, how much did you want? Question marks, when it was already clearly, sort of
I
discussed.
know, it was like, we discussed this, it was 55. I was like, "Okay," so I was trying to be professional about it, right? I was like, "Okay,
Yeah,
so
I see your
it was
messages.
$110, we agreed in payment plans, so I just need $55, smiley face."
Yeah.
Um, and he was like, "Oh, I didn't know that you still expected me to pay you because you took so long." And I was like,
What? What does the
"What does
time?
that
It's
even
like,
mean?"
I'm not sure if
Like, I
he's been
still need to
ordering some
work.
pizza, because from some restaurants, like pizza, if it's delayed, you get it free. For example, that's like the only place I know that would do that sort of
Yeah,
deal.
no, that's not
But
how
that's
it
just
works. Like,
absolutely ridiculous, because it doesn't matter how long, and especially considering you were talking about the time sort of delays, right? You did, like, I saw that you explained to him that you're
right.
going through a lot of stuff, you've got a lot to do, but you're
Yeah, and
definitely
I
going to
had a
do it.
valid reason for
Yeah,
being late, and he could have canceled the
exactly.
order anytime if it was gonna take too long.
Mhm.
He could have easily just told me, "Hey, I don't like, if you're not gonna get it done soon, I would just like to cancel the order." And then I would have been like, "Great, so can you pay like the other $45 for the other one? That's totally fine." Like, I would have been okay with
Yeah.
that.
It's
And
just the
and
lack
I
of
was like,
clarity, and especially considering you made like a actual, deal, like it was on your behalf a
"Yeah,
business decision. So, I mean, you even gave him I'm going to blur all this information out, but you gave him, the PayPal to pay on, and it was all agreed in the DMs for,
yeah,
So this was once again just sort of, I'm trying to wrap my head around it. How much was it? This was for the first design that I still need to pay you, right?
yeah." That
Yeah.
was the first half of the payment.
Mhm. So for the second one, he didn't pay you.
Yeah, no, like, he was so basically, I was like, I'm sorry that you're not satisfied with the product, but due to our original agreement, I have to take payment."
Yeah, of course.
And he was like, "Can I just pay you in AJ items?" And I was like,
Yeah, then we're getting to
"Oh!"
the icky stuff. That was just completely ridiculous. Like,
I was almost taken aback by that
even
because I
I
was
can't
like,
believe he's that much of an idiot, honestly. Just
yeah, it's
having a
like,
professional commission for an art, like, for his debut album that he's spent so long working on, then he's like, yeah, can I pay you in AJ items?
I know, I
Like, what
was
was
like,
your reaction
"No,"
initially?
because I was so taken aback. I was like, "What?" Like, no, okay, like, I do still play AJ,
Yeah,
but
he did definitely know and try to take advantage of that
like,
you're
not, I
from
don't play
part of the
AJ so
community.
much anymore that I would, like, be willing to take AJ
Yeah.
items for something that, like, he could potentially be making profit on. Like,
Yeah,
if he's
exactly.
gonna be,
So, first of all, sorry to sort of cut you off. I just sort of wanted to say that, like, one, it was like a professional commission that he's going to be making a lot of money off. So he's essentially just tried to
yeah,
sell you AG items for basically making profit out of something else. Which, I mean, art commissions, sure, has been pretty standard that people do give AG items for artwork, but
yeah,
something
but
on this scale,
that's not we
yeah.
talked about.
Yeah, exactly. Something on this scale, this is like a, sort of big deal potentially. I mean, it won't be released for another year or so, but his album cover, like, that would be an actual, thing that he would be selling. And to sort of attempt to pay with AJ items doesn't seem really to
Yeah,
rules for me. I'm not
because
exactly sure on that, but
he even asked me, like, he was like, "Okay, so if I do choose to go with your art, you're gonna have to sign like a contract, you
hmm.
know?"